Year A Lesson 15. God Sent a Man. Wednesday's lesson is entitled Return Trip. Psalm chapter 37, verse 37. Mark the blameless man and observe the upright, for the future of that man is peace. Our Bible references are found in Genesis chapter 42, verse 25 to chapter 44, verse 3. Joseph wanted to send food to his father's family, but he also needed to learn the truth about his brothers. On the way home, one of them found that the money he had paid for his grain was in his sack. How did they feel about that? Genesis chapter 42, verses 25 to 28. Then Joseph commanded to fill their sacks with corn, and to restore every man's money into his sack, and to give them provision for the way. And thus did he unto them. And they laded their asses with corn, and they laded their asses with the corn, and departed thence. And as one of them opened his sack to give his ass provender in the inn, he espied his money, for, behold, it was in his sack's mouth. And he said unto his brethren, My money is restored, and, lo, it is even in my sack. And their heart failed them, and they were afraid, saying one to another, What is this that God hath done unto us? Everyone in Jacob's encampment was excited when they saw the men coming with donkeys loaded with sacks of grain. But when the brothers told them what had happened, they were alarmed. And when they found all their money returned to them in their sacks of grain, they were fearful of more trouble in the future. In his discouragement, Jacob said, All these things are against me. The famine continued, and again Jacob's family was almost out of food. It was only this urgent need that forced Jacob to allow Benjamin to go with his brothers to buy more grain in Egypt. When they arrived and bowed before Joseph, he recognized Benjamin, and he was overcome with joy. He sent them to his home, where they were to have dinner. That frightened them. Was the governor going to accuse them of stealing the money they had found in their sacks? So they told Joseph's steward they had brought back the money they found in their sacks. He just told them not to worry. And when their brother Simeon was brought to them from prison, they were very relieved. Genesis chapter 43, verses 24 to 34. And the man brought the men into Joseph's house and gave them water, and they washed their feet, and he gave their asses provender. And they made ready the present against Joseph came at noon, for they heard that they should eat bread there. And when Joseph came home, they brought him the present which was in their hand into the house, and bowed themselves to him to the earth. And he asked them of their welfare, and said, Is your father well, the old man of whom ye spake? Is he yet alive? And they answered, Thy servant, our father, is in good health, he is yet alive. And they bowed down their heads and made obeisance. And he lifted up his eyes, and saw his brother Benjamin, his mother's son, and said, Is this your younger brother of whom ye spake unto me? And he said, God be gracious unto thee, my son. And Joseph made haste, for his bowels did yearn upon his brother, and he sought where to weep. And he entered into his chamber and wept there. And he washed his face, and went out, and refrained himself, and said, Set on bread. And they sat on for him by himself, and for them by themselves, and for the Egyptians which did eat with him by themselves, because the Egyptians might not eat bread with the Hebrews, for that is an abomination unto the Egyptians. And they set before him the firstborn according to his birthright, and the youngest according to his youth. And the men marveled one at another. And he took and sent messes unto them from before him. But Benjamin's mess was 5 times so much as any of theirs. And they drank and were merry with him. At dinner, they were surprised to be seated in the order of their ages. Benjamin was given more food than the others, but they showed no signs of jealousy. They left for home the next morning with their sacks full of grain, but they still didn't know that the man to whom they bowed was their brother Joseph. Let's apply it. Do mistakes sometimes have long lasting results? Joseph's brothers were still suffering from the guilt of their unconfessed, cruel treatment of Joseph, weren't they?